I used to spend hours doing crunches, sit-ups, Russian twists, and wondered why my stomach never looked any flatter. I knew I was working hard, but my waist just stayed the same, and sometimes even got thicker. As women, we don't want thick, blocky abs. We want a strong core that pulls everything in and flattens our tummy. But the wrong exercises can make it harder to get the results you want, or even worse, leave you with a wider, poochy stomach. In this video, I'm breaking down the best and worst flat belly ab exercises for women, so you know exactly which ones will tighten your core and which ones are wasting your time. And at the end of the video, I'll tell you a workout you can add into your weekly routine to get that tight, toned core you've been working for. Today, I'll be ranking these exercises from S to F. S meaning snatched, this is one you always want in your routine, and F meaning it's a total flop. But before we get into it, here's something most people don't realize about their abs. They're not just those six-pack muscles we see on the front. The most important muscle for a flat stomach is actually underneath, and it's called the transverse abdominis. And it basically works like a corset, pulling everything in nice and tight. Most people don't know which exercises actually train these deep core muscles and which ones just miss it. So if you have been struggling to flatten your belly, get rid of that lower belly pooch, and just feel tighter and more toned, I made this video for you. Do me a favor and hit the like button. That tells me to make more videos like this and helps other women find our community. And if you're new to my channel, I'm so happy you're here. Make sure you hit subscribe down below so you don't miss any of my weekly videos helping you in your fitness journey. And I also do giveaways every single week for my subscribers. All you have to do is be subscribed and make sure you comment on the video. I pick a random winner every single week and drop it over in the post channel. Quick reminder before we jump in, all of these exercises are going to work those deep core muscles and help tighten and flatten your stomach. However, our abs are revealed in the kitchen. Your nutrition is what actually makes them visible. So pairing what you learn here with a healthy diet is the key to getting the best results. I have 13 exercises we're gonna be breaking down, and this is my criteria to get that snatched score. Number one, the exercise has to activate that transverse abdominis and those deep core stabilizers. Number two, it has to feel good in your body and have a low risk of injury or spinal strain. Number three, it has to pull in and tighten your belly and waistline without bulking your obliques. Now, these are in no particular order, but number one is one of the most popular, most common ab exercises. We've probably all done these since elementary school, and that is sit-ups and crunches. I can remember spending hours watching TV at my parents' house with my feet tucked under the couch, doing as many sit-ups and crunches as I could, trying desperately to get a flat stomach, but they're not gonna do it for us. Crunches and sit-ups primarily work your rectus abdominis, which is that top layer of your abs where you create those six-pack lines. They're great if your goal is visible six-pack abs, but they barely work those deep core muscles to help flatten your belly. They also put a lot of strain on your hip flexors and lower back if not done properly, which over time can lead to strain and injury. So if you're at a point where you just want those visible abs to start popping on the top layer, it's not a bad exercise, but when it comes to flattening our belly, this one gets a D. This second exercise may be one of the most underrated, especially when it comes to getting a flat belly. And that is the dead bug. To be honest, I thought these were kind of a waste of time until I learned how much they activate our transverse abdominis, those deep core muscles. And really postpartum is when I started adding these into my routine the most. They really help with stability, with coordination, and protecting your back because they teach your muscles how to brace properly. They might not look like much, but these are one of the most effective exercises for helping to flatten your belly, and so this one gets an S for snatched. Number three has actually been a part of my routine for years and years and years, and that is the Russian twist. Russian twists work your obliques, those side abs, and really help with rotation and giving your waistline definition. However, if you do these with too heavy of weights or you do them too often, they can actually build your obliques out, making you look wider instead of tighter. The other downside is they don't engage your deep core muscles enough to really help flatten or bring in that belly pooch and bring in your tummy. So when it comes to the focus on a flat belly, these are gonna get a C. For cute, but Number 4 is one you may have never done for ab exercises, and that is bear holds. Bear holds may look pretty simple, but they light up your entire core, especially those deep core muscles and your TVA. They really build such amazing functional strength and stability while keeping your spine in neutral, so it almost forces your belly to get flatter like immediately. Because of all the postural elements to this, you will start noticing a difference in your belly being pulled in if you're adding these into your routine. So because of the emphasis on the transverse abdominis in this exercise, this absolutely is headed to the top and gets an S. Number 5 builds incredible core control and endurance, and that's the hollow body hold. If you've never done a hollow body hold, these are great to really help you get the proper rib tuck and pelvic tilt. It gets your body in the perfect position, and holding in this position activates those deep core muscles really well. Regularly doing these hollow body holds is going to lead to better posture and definitely a flatter appearance, but they're not the most functional when it comes to real life movement. At the end of the day, I like mixing these into the routine, so this is going to get an A for always in my routine. It is a solid one to have in there. It's just not maybe the top of the top. Number 6 is plank variations, and I just put these kind of all together because there are so many different ways to perform a plank. You could do planks with your arms fully extended, forearm planks, knee taps, pikes. There's a lot of variation here, and all of them have different benefits. What makes planks so special is they kind of do it all. They activate the TVA, so those transverse abdominis muscles. They also hit the rectus abdominis. You're getting all of those front abs. Different variations will increase tension throughout the entire body and really activate those lower abdominal muscles as well. So all in all, these different plank variations really are a great way to hit your entire core and abdominal wall. You're also going to get some amazing postural benefits out of these plank variations, but because they aren't so specifically targeted for deep core isolation, it's going to get an A for always. You should always be doing planks in lots of different variations in your routine. Number 7 on our list is weighted side bends. So you can do these standing, you can do these in the chair. There's a lot of variations, but at the end of the day, it's the idea of taking a big weight that's pretty heavy for you and doing a side bend, working into those obliques, pulling it back through center. Side bends like this primarily work your external oblique, so really building out the muscles on the side, which if you're trying to pull everything in, may not be your best bet. These are a great exercise for athletes, for bodybuilders, anyone who really needs that strong side and wants to build out. But if your goal is to tighten and flatten and work the deep core to pull the belly in, these are not going to be your best friend. When it comes to our flat belly goals, side bends like this get an F for flop. Number 8 is probably one most women have not done, and that's okay. This is not for everyone. I personally don't even really like these exercises because they're really hard, and that is hanging leg raises. This is definitely an advanced exercise that works a lot into the hip flexors. In order to perform them correctly, you do have to have that strong core. You have to be able to stabilize and get the pelvic tilt just right so you're activating those core muscles instead of the dominating hip flexor. They are great for building lower ab definition, especially if you have perfect form. But when it comes to activating those transverse abdominis, it just proves to be pretty challenging for most. So this one is gonna get a B. Better than nothing. It is a great exercise to challenge yourself, but maybe not the best when it comes to flattening your abs. Number 9 is the stability ball rollout. You can do these on large exercise balls or smaller ones like this. They're going to be challenging either way, and they're an incredible way to really activate your deep core muscles. These are amazing for your anterior core and those transverse abdominis muscles that we're talking about, so really helping you pull it in. And if you think about it, going back to our plank variations, these are similar, but we're making them even harder. These build deep core strength and help with stability, but you do need a solid baseline to avoid any back pain or injury. Because there is a potential risk of these being a little uncomfortable and harder to perform, I'm going to give them an A for always in my routine because they are such a good one to add in. You will feel stronger, you will feel tighter, but they don't have that full clear on their criteria to make it all the way to S. Number 10 is one of my favorites, and that's bicycle crunches. Bicycles can get your heart rate up, give you that calorie burn, and they are incredible for working your rectus abdominis, those six-pack abs in the front. You're adding in the twisting, you also get the obliques, which again is so good for shaping your waistline, but today we are talking about flat bellies. Bicycles are incredible for that like aesthetic definition and endurance, but they barely activate your TVA even with perfect form. So I absolutely love a bicycle crunch because they're not the best at getting those transverse abdominis and those deep core muscles working for you to flatten your belly. This is gonna get a B for better than nothing. Number 11 is very similar to number 10, and that is mountain climbers. And we're just gonna go quickly through this one because at the end of the day, mountain climbers are really great again for that stabilization, core activation. You're getting a nice like cardio burn as you're going really quickly, but you're not gonna be activating those deep core muscles in the most meaningful way. Because you're not really able to activate those deep core muscles well during a mountain climber, this one also is gonna get a B. Number 12 isn't technically an exercise, but I had to put it in here because when it comes to flattening your tummy, this is one I get asked about still constantly, and that is waist trainers. So let me just clear the deck and say waist trainers do not train your waist. There is no core activation. They are not getting your muscles working. There's no deep core stimulation. Nothing is happening. They are compressing your organs and pulling everything together. So you temporarily may appear smaller, but they are not changing your muscle structure. So no, there are no muscle benefits, and over time they can actually make your muscles weaker. So it should be no surprise, this is getting a big old F. Number 13, I've talked about since I first started on this channel, and it is one of the best things you can do to train your stomach to be flatter, to train your transverse abdominis to pull in, to work like a corset and to do its job, and that is vacuuming. The incredible thing about vacuuming is its ability to truly train your transverse abdominis and those deep core foundational muscles. It will make your waist look smaller, your belly look flatter, you'll have better posture, and it will make all of your other ab exercises even easier to perform. Doing vacuums is retraining our muscles basically to relax in. It really trains from the inside out. So it can help change the overall look. You can almost look instantly like you've lost 5 or 10 pounds, and over time doing these and performing vacuums consistently will truly start to transform how your body looks at rest, with or without losing fat. Vacuums have the highest TVA, so our highest transverse abdominis activation out of any other ab exercise. So if you had to choose only one of these to do, this would be the one. Just imagine I was gonna come and like punch you in the stomach. Everything would tighten up. There are other variations you'll see here where you can really pull in, you try to breathe into your rib cage, like as you exhale out, open and expand your rib cage and pull everything in and hold it in that deep hollowing of your belly. Hold that as long as you can and repeat. That's a more advanced level, so you can go toward those, and it is going to transform the way your belly looks. If I could give this like a double S, like a super snatch score, maybe we should add that, super snatch, this would be the super snatch, because it is just truly the ultimate exercise if you are trying to activate your deep core and trying to pull everything in and flatten your stomach. Now that we've gone through all 13, I'm gonna break down the perfect workout to add into your routine. This is one you can do a couple times a week. It's only gonna take you about 5 or 10 minutes, and you will noticeably see a difference in flattening of your stomach in the next couple weeks. First, we're gonna start with that vacuuming. Try to hold as long as you can each time and go through about 5 rounds of holding everything in super tight. Next up is the dead bug. So take about 10 to 12 of these. You're gonna lay on your back on the mat, legs up and arms up above your chest. Extend your right arm and left leg down as you brace your core, draw your belly button in and breathe, alternating side to side. Try to take about 3 sets of these before moving on to your bear hold. For your bear holds, your knees are gonna hover about 1 inch off the ground, and I want you to hold for 30 to 45 seconds, or really as long as you can. Keep your spine neutral and your core engaged, imagining, like I said, almost like with the vacuum, like someone is going to punch you. You really wanna squeeze those abs, keep it super super tight. And if you're feeling strong, you can take some of these arm variations as well. Stability ball rollouts are definitely a bit more advanced. You can take these on your knees as you're getting started as well, but you're gonna bring your arms onto the ball and extend your legs out and just roll out an inch or two. You're gonna feel that core start to engage. So pull it in, keep it tight, and then drive your elbows back under your chest and continue this motion for about 10 to 12 reps. And finally, I want you to add planks into this routine. So you choose the variation of planks that feels best in your body. Try to hold your planks for at least 30 to 45 seconds or longer if you can, and go through all of these exercises for about 3 sets. So 3 rounds in total. If you do this a couple times a week, like I said, you're going to start to feel and see your tummy transform. So those are the best and worst exercises for a flat tummy and the perfect workout to add into your weekly routine. If you have that belly pooch that won't quit, if you just feel like everything's kind of out here and you want to draw it in, these are the ones you need to come back to get that tighter toned look, and then add the others in as well. All right, girls, I hope you liked this video and found it helpful. If you did, do me a favor, hit the like button and make sure you're subscribed. And one thing I always forget to mention, but is so important, is turn on notifications for my channel. That way you never miss a video and you can be in the mix to win those weekly giveaways. That's it for this week, but I'll see you in the next video.